Welcome, curious minds, to another deep dive. Today, we're stepping back into Victorian London. Not the grand ballrooms, though. We're heading into the shadowy alleyways and, well, the opulent but maybe equally confined drawing rooms. Our sources today are some really rich excerpts from literature that, pull back the curtain on this complex era. Our mission, to dig into the stark social divides, the profound hypocrisies, and the surprisingly modern internal struggles, all through the eyes of individuals wrestling with their place or sometimes their lack of place in that society. We're going to find this tapestry woven from desperation, ambition, and that, relentless human yearning for freedom. Okay, so to really get this world, we have to start with its harsh realities. Our journey begins in Church Lane, St. Giles. It's described vividly as the lowest of the low.
Right, and it's literally a few hundred yards away from immense wealth.
Yeah, but separated by, as the text says, a river too wide to swing. It's such an immediate, visceral contrast.
It really is, and what's chilling isn't just the poverty itself, it's the micro-hierarchies within it. The source explicitly says even the Prince of Wales wouldn't interact, wouldn't shake hands. These people were seen as not of the caliber suitable for gentlemen. Even among the destitute, there's caliber.
Wow. That immediately signals how deeply ingrained those Victorian notions of status were, right down to the absolute bottom.
Exactly. It sets the stage perfectly for how these characters have to navigate things.
So in this setting, we meet Caroline, a prostitute.
Yeah.
And her daily life is anything but glamorous. She wakes up by the moonlight, hitting the houses opposite, maybe 3 a.m., dealing with frozen grime on the panes, ice breaking off the window.
And her bed. The description is brutal. A wrinkled and half-unraveled thing like a bandaged limb that has been unwisely used for a rough, dirty chore.
Ooh.
She even takes care not to tear the slimy undersheet with the heels of her boots.
It's not just descriptive, is it? It feels like a statement on how dehumanizing it all was. Stripping away comfort, dignity.
Absolutely. Almost the essence of being human.
And here's the really striking thing. For Caroline, this grim life was actually an improvement.
Yeah.
She says her current work is not as dirty as the factory, nor as dangerous, nor as dull. She calls her factory time being a factory slave.
That's a truly stark choice, isn't it? It really forces you to reconsider our own ideas about choice and progress.
Totally.
When prostitution is seen as the better option, well, it speaks volumes about the lack of any viable alternatives for women like her then. For Caroline, this trade, it gives her the right to lie in and get up when she damn well chooses.
Even at the cost, as she puts it, of her immortal soul.
It's a brutal calculation.
Yeah, and she's lost her sense of purpose after her husband and child died. Life is more like a newspaper. Aimless, up-to-date, full of meaningless events.
Such a modern feeling description, actually.
Isn't it? And her view on morality is just so pragmatic. Virtue, don't pay the rent, she sneers. She basically says if the virtuous had helped her out, she might have stayed virtuous longer. It's a direct hit at the moralizing of the time.
A complete rejection of that hypocrisy.
And this desperation, it extends to the children, too. We see kids, none older than maybe 8 or 9, wrenching spokes from the splintered wheel of a broken cab to strip it for parts, just scavenging.
While the adults, the hardened souls who've passed the age of 10, they're either drunk or getting ready for a long day's work, maybe a long walk just to find work, terrified of instant dismissal or being turned away from casual labor. It's constant uncertainty.
A brutal scramble, just day in, day out. Okay, so from Caroline's grim reality, let's shift focus to Sugar. Now, her origins might touch Church Lane, but her ambition, it reaches much, much further. She's seeking more than survival. She wants agency, truth.
Right. Initially presented as a high-class prostitute, Mrs. Castaway's daughter.
And William Rackham, this wealthy perfumer, he spots her. At her writing desk, her escritoire, 5:30 in the morning, scribbling.
And he just dismisses it, doesn't he? He thinks maybe it's some secretarial piecework because she's poor.
Yeah, he totally misses the depth of her ambition. It's not just about money. It's a window into this revolutionary mind.
Absolutely. This is her internal world laid bare. She's writing a novel. At one point, it's called Women Against Men. And her goal is explicit. Tell the truth about prostitution. She wants the book to move them, enrage them, thrill them, terrify them, scandalize them.
Wow. That's quite a manifesto.
Isn't it? She believes the world is ready for the truth. It's a direct challenge to all that Victorian repression. And her struggle over word choice, how blood flows or spills or spurts, That's not just about finding the right word.
What is it then?
It's almost a commentary on Victorian literature itself, which so often sanitized reality. Sugar's quest for the precise, brutal word is an act of defiance, demanding realism from a female perspective.
That's a fantastic insight.
Yeah.
Okay, so eventually Sugar transitions. She leaves the brothel life, becomes William Rackham's mistress, and also governess to his daughter Sophie.
A very complex dual role.
And this move, it demands a total change in how she presents herself. Her old sumptuous wardrobe greens, blues, bronzes that fades to gray and brown.
She adopts a strict policy of sober dress.
It's like a performance, right?
Exactly. A masterclass in performing Victorian respectability. Sugar gets the rules. By wearing this sober dress, maybe a stylish sight of mourning, she can play the high society game. Even while she's observing that, theaters and pleasure gardens are favorite haunts of the better class harlots, she sees the hypocrisy.
And her observations are sharp. She scrutinizes William's wife, Agnes, notes how every inch of her diminutive body speaks of containment and untouchability.
A total contrast to how Sugar sees herself with her masculine paws and that gait half man, half slut. It's a stark comparison.
But inside, her internal world is still a battleground. After Agnes is, sent away, William wants reassurance from Sugar.
Right.
And Sugar sees his anguish is blinding you to who I am.
Yeah.
But inwardly, she feels disgust at the thought of William Rackham's touch.
Even as she's seemingly succeeded.
Exactly. Her identity tortures her. What a monster he's caressing. What terrifying ichor flows through her veins, poisoned by putrid memories and the bitterness of want.
It's incredibly powerful that self-loathing persists despite her social climb.
Okay, let's pivot now to the more privileged world of the Rackham household itself. Still complex, just in different ways. Starting with William Rackham, head of Rackham Perfumeries.
Initially, he's full of self-pity. Feels virtually blackmailed into work by his father, who keeps cutting his allowance.
He sees himself as an artist, right? Not a businessman.
Yes, but his expensive tastes mean his whole household sucks hard at the nipple of paternal generosity. Classic conflict. Perceived identity versus inherited duty. Pretty common for men of his class.
And his private life seems quite detached, too. His encounters with prostitutes, often unsatisfying. Wrong shape, the wrong size, the wrong consistency.
He craves these transcendent lapses, losing awareness of what he's doing.
He even thinks something important, essential, would be proved about life if he could only have his way with a woman.
He's intellectualizing it.
It sounds like a very human way to rationalize something much more basic, doesn't it?
Absolutely. It points to that common Victorian male idea, maybe delusion, that sex, especially with prostitutes, could unlock some deep philosophical truth, rather than just being, what it was, an escape, maybe, from their own issues.
But then he changes, transforms, becomes a 24-hour man.
Right. Suddenly dynamic, leading the business, making deals for dirt-cheap ivory pots.
He even becomes generous at Christmas, buying uniforms, out-and-out luxuries for the servants, not just a derisory gift of a soup ladle.
Which is a fascinating shift.
So is this new generosity real? Or is it just a performance of the benevolent master now that he's actually successful?
That's the question, isn't it, about power and charity. But his success still has this shadow. He has a blinding flash of revelation, sees his heirless empire eventually crumbling, like Ozymandias.
Ah, the Shelley reference. That reminder that even the biggest monuments to power turn to dust.
Exactly. His ambition is still paired with this deep anxiety about legacy. What will it all mean in the end?
And while he's having his transformation, what about his wife, Agnes? She's living this life of, profound internal struggle, this mysterious affliction, collapses, dreams of a convent of health. Her diaries give us a window. She's described as this peculiar little creature, demented and conventional by turns, complaining about inferior china, then suddenly describing demons creeping out hungry for her blood, burning her used cotton.
It shows a woman who's deeply isolated, tormented, trapped by her class, her gender, her own mind. That contrast between the mundane complaints and the terrifying visions, it suggests a profound disconnect, maybe, but also this desperate attempt to keep up appearances.
It really highlights how little they understood mental health then. Just hysteria or madness, no real support.
None at all. And her secret Catholicism adds another layer. She believes God is Anglican, but Our Lady is Catholic, and they have an uneasy relationship.
So even her faith is a hidden struggle. She has to sneak off to a Catholic church in a plain dress.
Right. And her loneliness.
Oh.
It's not just physical. It aches. It permeates the bed linen. She just wants someone to like and trust her in that huge, empty bed.
Such a heartbreaking image. Isolation amidst wealth.
It really is. And the climax for Agnes is just tragic. William decides she is mad. The situation is unmanageable.
He arranges for her to be put away, sent to the Labob sanatorium.
Convincing himself, or trying to, that she can be cured there, she'll come home a new woman.
It's profoundly disturbing. It just lays bare the powerlessness of women labeled mad, their fates decided entirely by men.
Utterly.
And we also get these glimpses of the servants. Clara, Agnes's maid, knows about the diaries, later refuses to give Agnes medicine, defying William.
A small act of rebellion.
And Janie, the scullery maid, terrified of God's punishment for stealing food, terrified of being sacked because there are 1,000 girls jostling to take her place.
Their loyalty is clearly tied to fear and necessity, a mirror of the whole power structure.
Okay, shifting again. William's older brother, Henry Rackham. He seems to be wrestling with deep piety, but also deep internal conflict. Devoted to God, but slow to show a talent for anything, takes ages deciding on his church career.
And his internal monologue reveals these profound anxieties, especially around women. He literally says he cannot employ a servant. The thought of a flesh-and-blood woman in his house, undressing, bathing naked, it's too much for him.
Wow.
He feels clammy with pollution, thinks of himself as a little boy trapped inside a monstrous, degraded husk. It's such a powerful image of repression.
A self-imposed prison almost. And his encounter with the prostitute in St. Giles is so telling. He first fears he'll fall upon her, violate her, but then has this aha moment.
Right, he realizes whatever he desires, it is not this small carcass of scuffed flesh and bone.
It's a turning point.
A kind of surrender of his religious virginity, as the text puts it. Not a failure, but a self-revelation. His desires aren't what he feared. And this allows him to channel that intense spiritual energy elsewhere, towards the Rescue Society.
Where he connects with Emmeline Fox.
Yes, a leading light in the society. And she challenges conventions, even thinks evolution is just a spat between one set of stuffed shirts and another, meaningless to the wretches she helps.
Mrs. Fox sounds formidable. She has consumption, tuberculosis, but this incredible glow of fervency. Believes God gave her a calendar of my days, and she'll survive it.
She's practical, too, isn't she? Even about marriage, she's tired of convention but won't propose to Henry because she might lose his respect.
A fascinating figure.
She is, and her pragmatism extends to the Rescue Society itself. It's well-intentioned, sure, but viewed cynically by people like Mrs. Castaway, who'd welcome the rescuers just to ridicule them and send them off crying.
And Sugar also has mixed feelings about do-gooders, the stench of charity.
It really highlights that gap, doesn't it, between the good intentions and the lived reality, the pride of those being rescued. There's a paternalism there they couldn't quite escape.
As all these lives cross and connect, we see these fascinating ironies, shifting perspectives. Like the family portrait session, Sugar, Sophie, and William. Sugar feels foreboding. It's like a family portrait that installs her in the place of his wife.
And the group shot is unsuccessful, but Sophie's individual photo is kept cherished.
That symbolism speaks volumes, right? About how precarious Sugar's position is. Always the mistress, the governess, a temporary placeholder.
And the illusions William is trying to maintain, creating this image of family.
Yet, despite her own turmoil, Sugar really dedicates herself to Sophie's education. Makes up history rhymes for her.
She finds this flicker of hope, maybe, in writing for children, thinking, catch them young and you shake their souls. An interesting shift from her own novel.
Then there's Agnes's funeral. Another moment of stark observation. William shows pained bewilderment. Henry is still and melancholy. Lord Unwin's grief, it almost resembles boredom.
It underscores that public performance of grief, doesn't it? Outward displays massing indifference, perhaps, and the private complexities bubbling underneath, like the subtle question of Sophie's paternity. Sugar notices a resemblance to William and herself. A spark of spirit passes between them.
Highlighting again that fragmented, uncertain nature of truth, paternity, identity, morality, all open to interpretation, suspicion.
Yeah, exactly. Nothing is quite solid.
And then Sugar's final act. It feels desperate, but also decisive. After William announces Agnes's fate being put away indefinitely, Sugar realizes her disgust at his touch is total.
The final straw.
She packs meticulously and reveals this hidden fortune, unopened envelopes of money from William. A fortune beyond the imaginings of servants.
That's an incredible moment of hidden agency, isn't it? All that time, planning, saving.
It really is. But she leaves Sophie behind, feels like a coward whore. And Sophie sees her as two Miss Sugars. the self-possessed custodian of all knowledge and overgrown child in trouble. Such perception from a child. And the story culminates with Sugar leaving. William left to face his broken home, the consequences of everything he's done. Wow, what a journey through this version of Victorian London, peeking behind those respectable curtains into the raw, often heartbreaking realities. We've seen how class-dictated life, how morality could be, well, pretty flexible, and how personal desires clash constantly with what society expected, or just crushed them.
And if you connect it to the bigger picture, you see individuals navigating these incredibly complex systems, making choices that aren't just good or bad, they're deeply human responses to their specific circumstances.
Right?
Every character, Caroline, Sugar, William, Agnes, Henry, Cover, they're all searching for some kind of agency or purpose, or maybe just escape, often in surprising, even transgressive ways. It also shows how tightly linked private lives and public personas were, especially when maintaining that fragile social order was paramount.
So what does it all mean for us listening today? I think this deep dive forces us to think about the stories we tell, about ourselves, about others, stories about success, morality, happiness. How much have our fundamental drives, our hidden desires, the pressures we face, how much has really changed?
That's the lingering question.
It leaves you thinking that beneath any polished surface, in any time period, there are always hidden lives, secret struggles, profound human experiences waiting to be uncovered, experiences that often mirror our own. Maybe the question is, what truths are we still sanitizing today? And whose hidden stories are still waiting to be told?